Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's SIIA Tech Chats. I am joined by Ariella Shoham, Senior Director of Marketing with Gemalto's Software Monetization Group. The Software Monetization Group at Gemalto provides licensing, protection, and entitlement management solutions. So, Ariella, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi, Rihanna. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I want to start just a little bit, if you could give us an idea of some of the challenges software licensing has today.
So I think to set the stage, before I talk about the challenges, maybe I should explain who our target audience are and then what they're experiencing. And through that, I'll talk a bit about the challenges. So as you said, I head the marketing for our software monetization business unit, and we address two types of audiences. We address software vendors, so anyone who develops software for commercial use, and we also address hardware vendors with a software component embedded within, so like an intelligent software device, hardware device. And if I look at the software vendors, we see this in our day-to-day as well. There's this evolution of how their customers want to consume their products. And so when we think of it from a licensing perspective, if you used to sell a piece of hardware, software in a box, and it was enabled by the user with some form of licensing technology, this has now evolved to much more user-centric type of licensing, anywhere, anytime, anything type of licensing. So the licensing challenges have moved from maybe just protecting and enforcing a license to actually providing a whole plethora of options as the customer would want them. So that's the software vendor side. And I think from a device perspective, in a way sort of similar, but these device vendors who again used to only sell a piece of hardware are realizing that actually the world here is changing. Their hardware is becoming more of a commodity. They have to come up with different routes to the market. And again, they're realizing that the software that they used to just give away for free suddenly has value or can help them create value and create different business models and be a lot more flexible in how they approach the market. So they're suddenly becoming software vendors themselves, and they have this whole new world of licensing challenges to cope with. So basically, these are the challenges that we see, right? User experience, different type of approach to the market, very consumer-centric, service-centric types of models that need to be addressed with flexible licensing models.
Great. Now, you've been with Gemalto a while. Previously, it was SafeNet before the acquisition. How, as a marketing person, how has marketing changed over the last, we'll say, 10 years, given all the new innovations out there, all the new products, all the new services available?
You're right. So in parallel to seeing our customers evolve, and maybe for the same reason, so our customers are also evolving differently in how they consume information. So for me as a marketer, I have to become more, I guess, digital, more nimble in the way I approach the market. And in a way, for me, it's very exciting because there are so many more methods for me to approach a customer. If before, again, maybe marketing was limited to a face-to-face event or a trade show, maybe to an email. Today, there are so many more advanced technologies. There are ways to track specific types of personas on LinkedIn. There's lots of social media. There are remarketing activities that can be really focused, and in a way, they're moving away from being a spam method. They're actually becoming more focused to give our customers what they really want. So instead of going very broad, I see our teams becoming more and more targeted. There's this term called flipping the funnel. Instead of trying to cast a very wide net, you're able with marketing technologies today to be very focused. And if I wanted to address you, a specific persona, I would be able to show you exactly the messages that you want and then convert you a lot easier. So for me, I've implemented a lot of these new technologies into my organization, and I see them helping me achieve, I think, more precise types of lead acquisition and awareness.
It still must be fairly difficult given that you guys cover a number of different markets, from government, banking, IoT, mobile security. Do you find that to be a challenge?
So I think, yeah, you're right. Gemalto acquired us about 3 years ago, and Gemalto have some of their business units are very similar. Their authentication type of units are very similar, and then they have other units that are very different. Our unit also addresses, I guess, the base that is the security element, but we venture into the back office operation and the licensing element. And then Gemalto also has connected devices, so it was a challenge, right? When I joined, there were various marketing teams, and the messaging was everywhere, and so it's a work in progress. I think there are some places where we are unified and we have a nice unified offering. I think IoT was the lowest hanging fruit. The Gemalto message is connect, secure, and monetize. So we're a three-legged stool, a good, strong message. And then in other places, we are independent and we try and sort of focus on our own type of business. And I think that's a good thing as well, because we have that flexibility, right, to approach the market for our specific needs, but also leverage this strength and the size of Gemalto for a broader offering. So it's sort of a challenge, but also an exciting time.
Great. So before I let you go, Ariella, what advice could you give to marketers today that are trying to really reach a global market?
I think that there's always going to be a balance between a corporate and a regional input. And I think that my best advice would be you have to know your market. You need people in the region, whether it's marketers, whether it's salespeople, but you need to feed out of the region. You can't be detached, because each region has their requests and their needs, and they feed you with their trends. And then you can come up with that marketing strategy that actually is then executed externally. And I would also say you need a good balance between the creation of content and its outreach. I feel that a lot of traditional marketers are creating content, and then it dies. And I think you really need to focus on the outreach of that content. And then before creating it even, you have to think who it is that you're approaching, talk to each one of those global outreaches, understand their pain points, and then create the content that they want, and use this, as I was saying before, these methodologies, the new digital way of approaching, and be very focused on the outreach so that your end user will actually benefit from all this content that you're creating.
That's fantastic. Ariella, thank you so much for your advice today and your insights. For more information on Gemalto's software monetization group and SIIA, please visit our websites, and we'll see you next week on SIIA Tech Chats.